Hi guys, Jenny here and welcome to my kitchen. Today we got a real treat. I'm gonna make homemade pizza and calzones. I'm gonna show a couple different ways to make them. What I did is didn't have enough yeast. I only had enough yeast to make a couple pieces of dough. And then the other I got at our local pizza shop. So, I called ahead of time, asked them if I could buy it, go in with your mask and gloves, and got a couple of extra pieces of dough so I could make my calzones and my pizzas. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is start with the calzone. All right, so I'm gonna take a piece of this dough that I made earlier, and that's a whole nother, another day dough making. But you have to let it sit and rise. But if you want to take a shortcut, you can get it from the pizzeria. You can get it. A lot of grocery stores and specialty shops sell dough. So that's the easy way to do it right now. Okay, but although we have a lot of time, you can make some dough. All right, so I'm going to start with the calzone. I had this dough. I made it this morning. I let it rise. And then I cut it into smaller pieces. We're going to start with, first I'm going to show you how I make the fried pizza, then the calzone, and then you can also bake it. So I have... Jenna, can you hand me that knife behind you, the big knife? So I can cut this in half. All right, thank you. All right, so I'm gonna cut this dough in half, all right? And I want my dough in a rounded piece, so what I do is I stretch it out and I make it into a ball. I take the end and I push it in, all right? Then I'm gonna stretch it out, all right? I'm gonna make it in the shape of a pizza. Now this is like an individual pizza. Okay, on the stove, what I have going right now is some very hot oil, which I'm gonna take off. So I'm gonna take a little bit of flour, I'm gonna put it on both sides, I'm gonna spread this out, and then I have all these different toppings. Okay, so actually I went with what was left in my fridge. I had some ricotta, so I made the filling. In the filling for the calzone is the ricotta, some shredded mozzarella, some Parmesan cheese, some chopped up basil, and parsley. You could use either or. The other thing that I had some mushrooms. So what I did, I sauteed these mushrooms, and I also had some sun-dried tomatoes. Sauteed the mushrooms, olive oil, garlic, chopped up some sun-dried tomatoes, threw some parsley in there, chopped up parsley, and I have that. So that'll be part of our topping or our filling. Okay, so I'm gonna spread this out, this dough. So this is gonna be the fried pizza. Watch this. And you can put all these toppings on the pizza, in the calzone, whatever you like, all right? So you're gonna make it thin. It's kind of hard to flip this up because it's so little. It's cute though, isn't it? It's a little pizza. All right, so watch. I'm gonna take this in to the hot oil over here. Be very careful with that when you're working with hot oil, all right? Cover your arms, it splatters. All right, this is hot, and it has to be hot to fry in because otherwise the dough will just absorb it, and that's not a good taste. So you carefully put this in here, and I'm gonna fry it. It actually fit 2 in here, so I'm gonna put another one right in there. If you put too many in to start, what happens is it will lower the temperature of the oil, and it won't cook properly. So you gotta watch this because it could burn. Real easy. So while that's cooking, I'm doing another one. And this one is coming out a little bit, I'm thinning out a little bit more. All right, so I'm gonna turn this too. See, it cooks really quickly. And then I could stick these in the oven too, if it's not cooked all the way through. Again, be real careful when you're putting this in because it bubbles up real quick. When this is done, I'm gonna put it on, it's not quite done, you don't wanna burn it. I'm gonna put it on a paper towel to absorb the excess oil. And then I can put it in the oven to cook a little bit crispier if I want it, and put whatever toppings I want on it. But with this, the other thing I have available is I made a big pot of marinara sauce yesterday, so I can use for the next 3 days. I can use it on the pizza, I can use it on pasta, I can use it on the calzones, whatever I want. And it's easier for me to make in big batches because there's 7 of us living here, and food seems to go very quickly these days. So I try and be as economical as I can and make things last. So the leftovers we had last night, I made a big pot of stew last night. They'll eat it for lunch today. But lately there's not that many leftovers. I think everybody's working out pretty hard. So they're trying to get their gains in. All right. So So this is looking pretty good here. And I'll put that there. So I'm going to bake the calzones in the oven. I'm going to show you the pizza stone I have in here. Now, when you're using a pizza stone, you want it to be really hot. So you preheat your oven. I put mine up to 400. Imagine a pizza oven. It gets up to, I don't know, 500 to 700. So I put this on 400, and I put my pizza stone in probably about 20 minutes ago, because then the pizza will cook much quicker. Andy Tucker's here, all right? He's going to help me make a calzone. He likes to eat them, so then he's got to make them.
Tony Cannoli.
All right, so take the dough. Take the dough, Andy Tucker. Flatten it out. From the middle, push out. So when you have dough, you don't want to touch it a lot because then it gets very glutinous. So from the middle, we're going to push out to thin it out. No, put it flat. What are you doing? Put it flat. Push out. Because otherwise it gets too thin in the middle and then it breaks, right?
Don't want it to break.
You don't want it to break because then you get a big hole in the middle, cheese comes through and all that stuff. All right. So, let's see if we can.
She's showing off now.
Let's see. It's been a while. My father's showing a pizzeria. It's been a while.
I know this.
This is a smaller dough. So, please don't drop it. So the knuckles. There you go.
Oh, yeah. Chef.
I think I got it in my face.
Oh no.
Did you get holes in it?
No, I missed it.
All right. Stretch it out. Stretch it out on the end. I'm gonna put some. This is ricotta. This is the ricotta mix. I have ricotta. I said the mozzarella, Parmesan cheese, salt, pepper, and parsley. All right. So I'm gonna take the ricotta mixture. I'm gonna put it not all the way to the end, more towards the middle. Here. Okay. There we go. We do the same. Now, I'm gonna make another one after with meat. I'm gonna put
Should I
some.
put meat in mine?
Yeah, you put meat in yours. Don't put as much cheese. We'll put some. I should put mushrooms in here.
Yum.
Okay, let's put some mushrooms in here. Mushrooms are good. Mushrooms. You put meat in yours. Okay. I'm gonna sprinkle some more cheese because there's never enough cheese.
Cheese bay.
Okay.
Cheese.
I'm gonna press it out a little bit. Not all the way to the end because we're gonna have a crust. Okay. All right. You can put a little bit more meat in that maybe because that goes pretty thick. Then I'm gonna fold it over like this and match up the ends and pull it out. So, because watch what I'm gonna do to the end.
Forky, Jenna.
Clip downs.
Yeah.
Oh. So now I'm gonna press down the ends of this and kind of close it off. So not all the cheese like comes oozing out. Some of it okay, but you don't just want to lock the ends down. So it's a nice big fat calzone right there. There we go. All right, this I'm gonna put on the cookie. Then I have an egg wash. So I just took one egg and I mixed it like that. Scrambled it a little bit. I'm gonna take my brush.
Delicious.
Okay, that's not bad. All right, and I'm gonna brush this so it becomes nice and brown. Give it an egg, that's called giving it an egg wash. Go ahead, give it an egg wash. And then with the marinara sauce, we can pour that on top after. I also put some olive oil on this. So this is gonna go in the oven. The oven, I'm gonna turn down for this, like to 375. I'm gonna stick it in. Probably that's gonna take a little bit to cook. I'm gonna put the timer on for about 30 minutes. Okay, meanwhile, I'm gonna show you how we fry a calzone. So get a little flour and sprinkle it on. And we're gonna press this out. Okay. Now these we're gonna fry, so they're gonna cook a little bit quicker. So I'm gonna turn it over. I'm gonna put flour on either side so it doesn't stick. The filling does not have to cook. It's already all cooked. All right. So I'm gonna take half, put it in the middle. Here. You take the rest. I'm gonna add some more cheese. Gonna spread that out, kind of make it even. then I'm gonna sprinkle some more Parmesan cheese, because that's a nice taste. You put more mozzarella. So I'm gonna fold it over like an envelope, press it down on either side, and I'm gonna use my fork to press down. So that oil's pretty hot. So I'm gonna press the filling down. It may ooze out, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm actually gonna cut a little bit of this dough off, because that's a lot of dough I have on here. That's good. That's good. It cooks really quickly, is I'm gonna put it on top also, because it cooks the top while I'm taking the oil. We don't want it to burn. I'm getting some of the top to cook while the bottom. And again, if you get water in this oil, forget it, it's gonna splash all over. You'll have a few little burns. Calendula is really good for burns. That's the only thing that stops that pain. Keep that in my pantry. So I'm gonna put this over. Oh, nice and brown. Look at that. That's nice. So we have two ways to make them. You can fry them, or you can put them in the oven. So if you think that this is not cooked enough, you can always stick it in the oven on a little bit lower temperature, because you don't want the outside to get burned and then the inside is raw. So that's why you make it a little bit, not too thick when you're frying. I'm gonna put it on here. So what I'm gonna do with these is they're gonna go in the oven. These are cooking nice. Look at those. See, those are rising. Look how nice they are. Really nice. Really nice. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get another cookie sheet. Now I'm gonna put these on here, because these need a little bit, they're a little bit doughy. And this is actually pretty good. I'm gonna leave this here. Leave that one there. This is gonna go in. Now what I could do with this is I could put some of the marinara sauce and sprinkle some cheese. But let's let this dough cook just a little bit through. So we'll put that in the oven for about 5 minutes. And then with this, I'm gonna make a pizza. This is really light. A little bit more so we don't stick. So then I can just, it can go right in the oven from the board, from the pizza board. So when you're trying to stretch out the dough, try to go more towards the end, because if you go in the middle, what happens is you'll get holes in it. It'll get too thin in the middle, and you'll still have some room on the end to make it bigger. Start in the middle. Go outside, all the way around, near the edges. You want to get all that goodness all the way through the pizza. This is really good sauce too. There we go. And I need some more mozzarella. I had all the shredded, but it's gone now, because they eat it all. So I have a block. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut some off this block here. I cook messy, but that's okay, because I'm just thinking about what I need to do, and then I usually have a big cleanup, or I usually walk away and Raffaele cleans up a lot. Okay, so I'm going to square this off. You can do it however you like. You can shred it. I'm just going to square it up a little bit. So I chop it up. Okay. All right, so now I'm just going to put it on here. Out. And you can put on whatever you have in the fridge, honestly. I have a few more mushrooms, so you know what? I'm going to put them on, sprinkle them on. flavor. What do you think, Sally?
Yeah,
It's good?
that's good.
Okay. A little Parmesan cheese. What I do is I keep some pesto sauce. And I can use this and just sprinkle it on, just like that, let it drip on. A little more basil flavor. This is dried basil. Look at this, check this out. All right, so we strung this up in the garage by a string, just some thread that we had, some fresh basil, because it was going bad and I knew I was gonna use it. So I told Anthony Tucker, I said, just take the basil, hang it upside down, and then you sprinkle it on whatever you want in your sauce, on your pizza, and you have fresh basil. So that's another way to keep the basil. That's how you make pizza calzone from things you had in the fridge. Again, you can put whatever you want. I used meat. I had some leftover chopped meat and pork, so I just sauteed that with a little olive oil and some garlic, seasoned it up, salt and pepper. If you had sausage, you could do that. If you had salami or ham, you could do that too. You can put in whatever you want. So hope everybody is staying healthy, staying safe, and enjoy your pizza and calzone. Ciao.